It's a Friday, finally. The weekend is here. An opportunity for us to take time off from work and get into a bit of leisure activities. It is the Friday edition here on Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And in the spirit of doing life together, we start the morning together, making sure that we are in touch and in real time. So capture your morning. Do send us a picture of yourself, a selfie of yourself, and where you're listening, or rather watching us from. That is, capture your morning, your moment, your picture. We'll definitely be shouting you out in the day or as the show goes by. Looking forward to hearing from you. Welcome aboard on this Friday edition. Looking forward to a great show as we have a lot of great conversation regarding relationships, marriage, and wedding photography. I think that's something that you'd want to pick on, as well as having artists on there. But let's take a trip into what updates we have this morning. Looking at a summary of what we have from the local scene. President Museveni pledged to rally regional leaders to strengthen the Eastern African Standby Force. The president made the commitment during a meeting with EASF Director Brigadier General Ronald Rivanga at State House in Tebe. And Brigadier General Rivanga briefed President Museveni on the activities of the Regional Standby Force and appealed for his support in mobilizing heads of state and government to renew political and financial commitment to the organization. But into more updates, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, has called on members of Parliament to support the Food and Nutrition Bill and ensure that it is passed into law. Kadaga says the legislation will strengthen efforts to improve access to nutritious food, particularly for school children whose physical growth, brain development, and academic performance depend greatly on proper nutrition. Into more updates this morning, Judge David Matovu of High Court Criminal Division in Kampala sentenced Tabula Luja and Luja Noah to death sentence. The two pledged guilty to the murder of the Ndiga clan head, Engineer Luomwa Daniel Bossa, that occurred on February 25, 2024 at Chikandwa Village, Lunguja in Lubaga Division, Kampala District. The accused in the murder of the Ndiga clan head, Engineer Daniel Bossa Luomwa, include Tabula Luja, Nora Luja, Nachiguli Harriet, Nakawake Joseph, and Mayanja Ezra. Before the judge, David Matovu, when the case came up for plea, taking upon the reading charges to all the five accused persons, Tabula Luja and Noah Luja, alias Fake, pleaded guilty to all the offenses. Interesting story, that one is. Still on the local scene, in 2023, the Tororo woman MP Sarah Opendi introduced the Alcohol Control Bill, which sought to regulate alcohol sales, manufacturing, and advertising, prohibit the sale of alcohol to persons under 18, amend the Industrial Licensing Act, Cap 91, to repeal the Portable Spirits Act, Cap 97. However, Parliament rejected the bill in its entirety in 2024. In a letter dated August 10, 2026, the Minister of State for Local Government, Balam Barugahara, directed local authorities to ensure that bars, malwa joints, and other alcohol selling establishments remain closed until 3 p.m. on working days. And the directive also seeks to curb early morning alcohol consumption, which the minister says is affecting productivity and community service delivery. Now let's take a look at what we have on the foreign scene. That particular story on alcohol policy is by WAPA, the Uganda Alcohol Policy Alliance, that is also pushing for action in line with this. Now on to the foreign scene. We're starting off with the Colombia earthquakes, as the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said on Wednesday that the hospital system has stabilized as patients have been discharged and the number of new admissions has decreased. But a red alert remains declared for hospitals in the city. It said the city averted disaster despite the collapse of key health institutions by enacting a strategy to boost the capacity of the institutions less affected. by the earthquake, officials said. Now, still on the foreign scene, Russian president has annoyed the Japanese there as he visited the far eastern Kuril Islands for the first time. The foreign ministry in Tokyo said it had summoned the Russian ambassador to lodge a strong protest over President Vladimir Putin's visit. Japan has long claimed ownership of 4 of the Kuril Islands, including the one reportedly visited by Putin, which the Soviet Union seized toward the end of World War II. And during his trip, Putin visited a fish processing plant on the island known as Iturup in Russian and Etarufu in Japanese, where he was given caviar, Russian media reported. Now on to the African continent. Zambians are voting in an election to choose a president and parliament. With more than 8 million voters registered to cast their ballots. Polls opened at 6 a.m. local time, though some experienced delays and are due to close at 6 p.m. and were due to close at 6 p.m. The vote was seen as a test of Zambia's reputation as one of Africa's most stable democracies amid concerns that political freedoms are being undermined. Unemployment and the rising cost of living remain major issues for voters there. Now, let's head on to what we have in the dailies this morning to our Zambian brothers and sisters who are watching, and Ugandans watching from Zambia. Mulibwanje. Looking at what do we have in the dailies this morning, starting off with the New Vision. The headline there is New Job Turns for Public Servants. That's the headline for the New Vision. And how security agencies traced Magara murderers. That is another story to dig deep into. Online banking fraud alarms police. And a picture there, hundreds of youth register for presidential skilling programs. That's very encouraging indeed. Who is turning up for the hit on XFM? Want to know why and how? All of that in there. And PLU fronts Izale for Ajumani. That one is a by-election there to replace the late General Moses Ali. Looking at the rest of what we have in East Africa, let's take a trip to what the Daily Nation has, rather the Citizen for Tanzania. And in there, why local authorities need to adopt new financial tools. That's the headline. But inside, comprehensive water supply upgrade in Kizimkazi. And 6 trillion shillings manufacturing boom fuels push beyond Dar. Also, government warns trekking body against assuming regulatory powers over Kilimanjaro tourism. And into the Daily Nation, governors race against time. And defending seats, top politicians in final sprint to complete flagship projects despite cash crunch. Crisis looms over 22 billion schools computation gap, and taxpayers fork out 206 billion shillings to fund Ruto's housing plan. All of these stories in the Daily Nation. Now, the Daily Monitor there, the Daily Monitor representing Uganda, are drinking. All right. Drinking problem. According to the World Health Organization, the average person in Uganda consumes about 12.21 liters of pure alcohol per year, placing the country among the highest consumers on the African continent. Uganda, a drinking nation. As we saw the statistics a while ago, that Uganda is 5th. Uganda ranks 5th in the whole world in line with consuming alcohol. That is quite the statistic and the reputation. Looking at the Gazette quickly, the Gazette there, as always, has the title of Contents, but notices to pay heed to with the Gazelle, a church that is being noticed as a celebration of marriage is St. Mark Kakumba Church of Uganda in Chanja, Anglican denomination, and it is from the village of Chanja Central A in the parish of Chanja. Sub-county is Nakawa Division. The county is Nakawa Division, and the district is Kampala, given under the hand of the Honorable Norbert Mao, 15th day of July 2026. Now that brings us to the end of what we have as updates this morning. When we get back, it's a conversation of interest, I must tell you. And we're having Pastor Cyrus Rode in studio with us. But continue on to capture your morning, all right? That's the crew, behind the team crew that serves here on Good Morning Uganda. Make sure that you get the picture as you ought to receive it. And you ought to do the same. Tell us where you are, take a selfie of yourself, and tell us where you are watching us from. Capture your morning, your moment, your picture. Do send us to 0709-602592. That is via WhatsApp. And the hashtag is GMU. Looking forward to shouting you out, to just getting in touch with you. One of the exciting moments I always have here on the show is touching base with you. So looking forward to that and begin right now. Good morning for now. Taking a short break. We'll be right back with another conversation. It's a Friday.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank God it's a Friday finally. The weekend is here. An opportunity for us to take time off from work and get into a bit of leisure activities. It is the Friday edition here on Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. And in the spirit of doing life together, we start the morning together, making sure that we are in touch and in real time. So capture your morning. Do send us a picture of yourself, a selfie of yourself, and where you're listening, or rather watching us from. That is capture your morning, your moment, your picture. We'll definitely be shouting you out in the day or as the show goes by. Looking forward to hearing from you. Welcome aboard on this Friday edition. Looking forward to a great show as we have a lot of great conversation regarding relationships, marriage, and wedding photography. I think that's something that you'd want to pick on, as well as having artists on there. But let's take a trip into what updates we have this morning. Looking at a summary of what we have from the local scene. President Museveni pledged to rally regional leaders to strengthen the Eastern African Standby Force. The president made the commitment during a meeting with EASF Director Brigadier General Ronald Rivanga at State House in Tebe, and Brigadier General Rivanga briefed President Museveni on the activities of the regional standby force and appealed for his support in mobilizing heads of state and government to renew political and financial commitment to the organization. But into more updates, the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East African Affairs, Rebecca Kadaga, has called on members of Parliament to support the Food and Nutrition Bill and ensure that it is passed into law. Kadaga says the legislation will strengthen efforts to improve access to nutritious food, particularly for school children whose physical growth, brain development, and academic performance depend greatly on proper nutrition. Into more updates this morning, Judge David Matovu of High Court Criminal Division in Kampala sentenced Tabula Luja and Luja Noah to death sentence. The two pledged guilty to the murder of the Ndiga clan head, Engineer Lwomwa Daniel Bossa, that occurred on February 25th, 2024 at Chikandwa Village, Lunguja in Lubaga Division, Kampala District. The accused in the murder of the Ndiga clan head
taxes, and they know the importance of taxes, and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay. I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned or what we have stopped is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answer.